Dropping on PS5 later this month, let's take a look at why the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe has got us so excited. So, what happens when a game plays you? When contradiction becomes commonplace and the rules you've taken for granted for so many years are broken, and then broken again? Well, what happens is that you get the Stanley Parable, an incredible, mind-bending puzzle exploration game from 2013 that continues to break minds to this very day. If you haven't yet experienced the story of the Stanley Parable, well then you're in luck. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe is launching on PS5 at the end of April. With that release just around the corner, let's take a look at the features and the content in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. The Ultra Deluxe version delivers all of the original gameplay and story that earned it that cult following almost 10 years ago. Every staid hallway and every incomprehensible twist is here for the enjoyment of new fans or returning ones. If you're one of the many people who enjoyed the Stanley Parable before the Ultra Deluxe edition, don't think you'll know exactly what will happen. There might be even more here than even you expected. And yes, there is an even more complicated complex, if that makes sense. I hope you've been doing your mental gymnastics because the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe has added a bunch of new things to make even the most thorough players for the original story scratch their heads in confusion. There are new decisions to make, new secrets to find, and even more content to enjoy, all while being accompanied by the iconic voice of Kevin Brighting. If you think you know exactly what's around the next corner, well, then you probably don't. The original version of the Stanley Parable was released in 2013. Gaming as a whole has come a long way since then in terms of story, graphics, and mechanics. The Stanley Parable story and mechanics hold up to this day, and now its graphics have been updated too. New textures and lighting bring the Stanley Parable into the modern age, making the recognisable, if not slightly off-putting, hallways and interiors look almost lifelike. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe absolutely shines on the latest video game hardware. One of the goals of the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe is to have as many people enjoy it and hear the story it has to tell as possible. To do this, the game developers at Crows have added many accessibility options to make the game playable for those who need special considerations. All of the in-world text has been localized for a number of languages, colorblind options have been added for those who need them, and the game now has a content warning toggle that will warn players of potentially triggering content. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe is the same classic experience, just updated and expanded for a new audience and generation of consoles. There's a ton to enjoy here, whether you've played the game previously or not, and the journey contained within it is something everyone should experience.